Good evening, everyone. The time is now 6:30 p.m. The date is June 3rd, 2026. We are on the second floor of the Eldon F. Moore Board of Selectmen meeting room. Before we stand for the pledge, I just want to remind everyone that this is being recorded for use on the internet. If you don't mind me joining the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, first on the agenda is public hearing. So I gotta read this public hearing. Notice hereby given pursuant of Mass General Law, Chapter 89, Section 9, designation of highways as throughways, traffic control signs and devices, and West Bridgewater Board of Selectmen will hold a public hearing at 6:30 p.m. on June 3rd, 2026 in the Selectmen Meeting Room, Town Hall, 65 North Main Street, West Bridgewater, Mass., where they will discuss installation of stop signs at the North Elm and Crescent Street intersections, turning the intersection into a four-way stop.
So just take a vote to open the hearing, please.
The vote to open the hearing.
Lee, yes.
Ryan, yes.
Perez, yes, we're good. It's open. Let's do it.
So at a meeting earlier in the year, there was a conversation at that point. You'll recall that we received a grant to put 2 blinking stop signs on Crescent Street as you approach North Elm. And at that point, there was also a conversation, would it make sense to turn that into a full four-way intersection? Based on the feedback from the board, we followed the process. We have to make proper notification. We posted. Christine also did an additional job, nice job of sending in a personal letter to each abutter in that area, so that way they were aware as well. To my knowledge, we have not received any feedback from anyone, positive or negative. I've spoken to both the fire chief, the police chief, and also DPW director. There are concerns about traffic that builds up on Crescent Street right now. Whether or not that's going to be alleviated, I'm not sure. But exclusive of that, they were all in favor of moving forward if that was the board's desire.
I did receive one piece of feedback from one resident right there in the corner, just concerned about North Elm backing up and blocking driveways, things along those lines. Understands that it's, dangerous intersection, so to speak, but concerned about their ability to be able to get in or out of their own driveways. So,
Is there any residents here that would like to speak up kind of on?
Well, that would be one of my concerns because I am one of the corner houses there. And getting out of my driveway in and out of it as it would back up, especially during morning and evening hours, it could be quite difficult as it is. Understanding that it is a dangerous intersection because people don't turn their directionals on, they don't pay attention to everything, and I sit and hear a lot of horns blowing all day long. So it's a trade-off both ways, but my concern is also getting in and out of my house.
I mean, I definitely hear your concerns. We'll address one of them at a time. We'll get to everybody, there's time. I hear your concern, but I do know that on that intersections particularly, there's a lot of accidents.
Mm-hmm.
And there is stop signs on there now. And I do understand this might be a little bit of a pain point. But with, I think, the stop signs, it might start moving some of this traffic onto other roads. It might be a little bit longer at first, but potentially start moving traffic down other roads. But there is so many accidents, especially in the late night, for people just not stopping. I think we could all agree on that.
yeah, Mr. Chair, I'm not sure I'm in favor of stop signs as much as I am trying to find a way to slow people down on North Elm in that area. I know we've spoken in the past, and you two have not been on my side, but I'm not gonna get off my speed hump. I think if you put a couple outside that intersection to get everybody to slow down to 15, 20 miles an hour as they go through that intersection, that might not avoid an accident entirely, but it might give some people time to react, and it might lessen the severity of some of the issues that we have on that street. I'm not particularly concerned about Crescent Street. I do drive up it, and I do know that I came there today, right? Like, that's how I get here, and it takes a little while, but to your point, sir, it's more that you want to go, you don't want to go, the directional's on, the directional's not. It's hard to get across that street or make a left or a right onto North Elm. If we had everybody going a little slower because they just had to brake for speed hump, that would be my preferred approach to this.
So I drive through that intersection 2 to 4 times a day, depending on whether or not I go home for lunch. And so personally, myself, I don't have an issue with the intersection. I think I navigate it pretty well, but I do see that it is an issue for a lot of people. There, one of the main factors, obviously, is the speed on North Elm and at which people travel. And with all due respect, Jeff, I think that speed bumps are going to slow people down while they go over the speed bump and speed them up when they get, past the speed bump. They speed up to the speed bump and then they speed
But
past
there's
it.
a spot that can be put to negate the speed that they go through the intersection.
True with that specific intersection, but then I'm concerned that people are going to speed up to go faster than they normally would to get to the speed hump, get over it, and then go faster because now they've been inconvenienced and they've got to slow down for 2 seconds, and so now they've got to make up that time.
And I would argue that a stop sign would make them want to go faster.
I don't disagree. I'm not necessarily in favor of the stop signs either. Like I said, I am able to navigate that intersection pretty well, I believe, and I feel like anybody who's paying attention and being responsible should also be able to navigate it. Unfortunately, everybody's not paying attention and they're not as responsible. So I'm not necessarily in favor of either one. I just know that something needs to be done. So, I'm kind of in the middle there. I don't know exactly what the answer is, but again, like Mike said, I really do want to hear and value the opinion of the residents in that area.
Sir?
Yeah, concern right now with the traffic on North Elm Street, it's almost impossible to get out the driveway. And I think if we put a four-way stop there, we all can see that on Crescent Street during peak time, the traffic is backed up from that corner, almost all the way up to Smokey's Barn. Remember what Smokey's Barn was? So my concern is that the same effect is gonna happen on North Elm Street. It's gonna be backed up on, up towards Brockton, and then we'll never get out of the driveway. So, it's, I don't see there being any easy solution to this, but, something has to get done. That off-centered corner of Crescent Street makes it very, very difficult to see. And I think what happens, in my opinion, what happens is people coming up off of Spring, come up to that intersection, they can't see, so they edge out, and then they get out halfway into the intersection, and then they go, oh geez, and they gun it, and boom.
Oh, no, they just plain old.
They just
don't stop.
It's not edging out, it's really
Hey,
been a
guys,
site
I-
issue since the big maple tree was taken down years ago. I mean, I've lived on that corner for 30 years.
Guys, we're gonna hear everybody, just let's please be
sorry.
mindful. I want the conversation, no, you're fine, sir. I want the conversation, but I just want it to be a little bit organized, just so that way we keep it, we hear everybody, everyone has their opportunity to speak, but I just wanna keep it kind of organized. Ma'am, I think you had something you wanted to pass as well?
I was gonna cite the study, the traffic study that was done when we were still talking about a new school. And since 2022, there have been 33 accidents there. And that's a lot of accidents. It's not uncommon for me to be in my kitchen someday and all of a sudden, boom, you hear it all the time. I don't think it really truly matters what direction the cars are coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's a bad accident. And I wish I could sit here and tell you I had a solution. I don't. Over 50 years ago, Jeff, we tried to see if we could get the speed limit dropped. We were told it was a state road, we had no say. So, and that's 50 years, we've lived on North Elm for 52 years. It's been getting worse. The police do what they can, but my gosh, they stop somebody almost every day on North Elm Street. What else can they do?
Well, and that's really our attempt, right? Our attempt is to do something, to do some mitigation, and what's in our controls. Stop signs are in our controls. Potential speed humps are in our controls. We have police officers, but we just can't leave them there all day, right? We can't leave them there all day. And really, at the end of the day, our attempt is to, safety is our number one concern. And I understand backing out our driveway is important to you as well. But safety is our number one concern. Just a quick question, sir. Were you in favor or not in favor of the stop sign?
That's a hard question. I mean, from the management of the traffic at the intersection, the stop sign makes sense. But the other side of it is when you get especially to the peak traffic hours of the day, it's gonna be, for us living in that area, it's gonna make it impossible getting in and out of our homes. even more so, I mean, I have a circular drive, so it's a little less difficult one way, but for everybody else, it has to be backing out or something. Yeah, I mean, it's,
Yeah, but I can only imagine, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but I can only imagine it's difficult to get out there at peak traffic hours anyways, because people are gonna be speeding up to just stop. I mean, this is where it's a little tricky, and having this conversation is helpful to, I think, all of us. And I love the fact that you guys are here to like talk about it, because usually we put these public hearings and nobody shows up, so the fact that you're here is huge. So it sounds like you're kind of in favor, but not really like you understand it.
I do understand, it's more the heavier, the heavy traffic times of the day that it would probably end up being more difficult.
I get it, but we can't take the stop sign out in the middle of the day and put it back,
Oh,
so.
no, I understand that, I just I don't know how to alleviate that, because
I know.
to be truthful, if the intersection wasn't offset, I don't think it would make any difference anyways,
Yeah.
because of, you watch the way people go, I mean, it just, the way, the traffic has gotten faster and faster on the road. People have become more and more impatient on the roadway. I mean, the horns are constant nowadays. And it's because people don't wanna slow down for the intersection. It's like, I don't know what else to, I don't know what the better solution would be for it right now, so.
I mean, I'm in a world where one of those roads would be kind of residents only one way. But that's not, we have to do things in baby steps, and I'll just flat out say it. Like, I'd love to see the portion of it heading out towards the main road there being a one way in the future, but there's things we have to do before looking at those things. Would that help? Probably, because now it's not gonna stop, it's gonna keep cars off of going out that way. But that's not only on me to decide.
Well,
Ma'am?
you know, to your point, because people aren't patient, if you're trying to get into your driveway, because we don't have any curbs, there's nothing to keep the cars go way up on the lawn almost. They come up onto the sidewalk. My daughter almost got hit many years ago because of that. I've been hit twice, trying to, just driving on my own street. I agree, there's no real good solution here, but I don't know what preventative things you can do to make it better.
Sir, in the back, and then ma'am, I'll go to you after.
Yeah, good evening. I can empathize with the people on North Elm Street who have concerns about getting out of their driveway, but I live one house from the intersection of Crescent and North Elm. I've been there for 46 years. In that time, there have been hundreds of accidents. I'm sure public safety has given you all the statistics you need with the number of responses that they make there in the course of a year. My kids grew up with the premise that when you hear the crash, look out the window, try to get an idea of what you see, call 911, and then take the first aid bag and go see if you can help. In 1980, there were 2 lights on Route 106 from Life Care to the center of town. They were at Hockomock in the center. Now there are 7 in that short distance. Crescent Street was a cut-through in 1980 when we moved in. It is now a cut-through, and it will always be a cut-through. You're never gonna change the traffic on 106. As 106 is slowed to a crawl/stop, additional traffic shifts to Crescent. Lincoln, Pleasant, South Elm, and River are now also experiencing that I gotta get off of this road. I used to get off at 106 on 24 in West Bridgewater. Now when I'm coming up, I get off in Bridgewater and come up through Bridgewater past the Amazon facility, because you can't get off the exit sometimes. You sit on the highway trying to get off the road. There's a Facebook post this week where somebody complained how long it took them to get from the center of town to the highway. And their response was, well, why don't you just take Crescent or Lincoln, Pleasant, and South Elm? So social media is all over this about get off the main road and get on the side roads. Every weekday morning and afternoon, Crescent Street has heavily backed up traffic for at least 2 hours at a time. And Marcy, if you're driving down that road, you know what that's like. That road can be back up to Stony, and that is a long road. In the wintertime, it's not too bad because your windows are closed. I can attest to you, if you would like to come down and sit on my front porch, you will hear every afternoon and often in the mornings the frustration of the people as they're trying to get to Crescent and North Elm. They lay on their horns, they shout obscenities, and they use hand gestures, all in an attempt to get the traffic in front of them to move faster, which it never does. It only takes a minute when I sit on my front porch to see someone on their mobile device while sitting in the traffic. Lots of times there's a significant space between them and the vehicle in front of them, because as they glance down to do whatever they're doing, traffic in front moves, which then causes the people behind them to lay on their horn and make them pay attention again. Traffic on North Elm has grown significantly also. The speed at which the traffic travels can be attested to by public safety by the number of vehicle stops on North Elm and on Crescent Street, as sometimes it takes to Crescent Street for them to stop the car from North Elm, from North Elm. We will never reduce the traffic on North Elm and Crescent Street. We will not reduce the distracted drivers or the frustrated drivers. But we do believe that the four-way stop will allow the Crescent Street traffic to safely turn or cross over while waiting just a short time, because you have implemented four-way stops at West and Crescent, and you have one at West and Manly. And over the years, people have adjusted to it, and traffic moves down that road. You only wait one cycle if there's someone there. Anybody who travels on Crescent Street and trying to get across North Elm, an experienced driver does not move up into the intersection if you see a vehicle traveling south coming from Brockton on North Elm with their blinker on, because nobody trusts that that blinker is real. It could have been left on from a mile ago.
Or yesterday.
100%.
And so people wait until that vehicle slows and begins to make their turn. Well, most of them do. Some of them pull out. Some of them suffered major injuries when that vehicle hit them at 40+ miles an hour. So with the four-way stop sign, at least you only have to wait, as you do at West and Crescent, that couple of seconds for one vehicle to move, and then you can get out. I do not come out of my driveway and go left to go to North Elm Street, because I can't. Traffic is backed up so far. I could sit there and wait, and there might be a nice driver who would let me come out, but I take it right out of my driveway, I put my left directional on, and I go down Francis, and I come around. This is the only way for me to get out of my driveway. I deal with that every day, morning, afternoon, and night. And the traffic is never gonna get any better. At 5 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, there is a steady flow of traffic coming down Crescent Street. And the people who have modified their exhaust, or for the 8 months out of the year when you can have your windows open, I get a wide variety of music at a very, very loud tone that I can listen to while they're sitting there waiting to get to the intersection. So, yes, I am in favor of the four-way stop sign. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ma'am?
I was gonna say that the horn blowing, that starts at like 5:30, 5:45 in the morning, and it goes on all day, even in the evening. And those accidents aren't happening just at the busy times. Those accidents are happening at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning as well. People missing that turn to go straight across, but it's not straight, and they're driving straight and they're hitting the rocks. You know, I'm one of those people that's up at night, so I tend to be one that's calling, saying, there's been an accident. You know, not knowing how bad it is because it's dark out, but yeah, we hear it, the littleness. And when it comes to the music and the vulgarity, yeah, it's there. And I, again, like everybody else, am worried about getting out and having to always take a right-hand turn when most of the time I wanna go left.
So ma'am, were you in favor or not in favor of the stop sign?
I'm not 100% sure. I drive down to the school and people are flying through that 20-mile-an-hour zone while I'm trying to take a turn into the school. And you come out and you got kids getting ready to cross and these cars still aren't stopping. You know, and the crossing guard, he does the best he can, he stops, he gets them to finally stop, and he's cussing them out, but the next day, they're right back to 50 miles an hour. And at the end of the road, if you go to the top of North Elm, you come to, is it Copeland, heading into Brockton, that's 30 miles an hour, it's a 10-mile-an-hour drop, and there's no school on that road, but we have a school, and we're at 40, and they're doing 50 and 60. Is there a way of changing the speed limit as well, to deter them from trying to do 50 down the road?
David, can we look to see if we could adjust that speed, or if that's in our purview or no?
Well, 100% is in our purview. You're not gonna like the answer about the process.
Yeah, I know it's a long, lengthy.
Speed it up.
It's not just that.
Could go up.
Average speed.
So, correct. So, so to answer your question, it is not a state road, it's a town road. So we have total jurisdiction over it. Speed is controlled by two items. One is the width of the road. As you get into Brockton, you know it narrows. So it's one reason, because it's more of a thickly settled area by definition. But the second part to that is that in order to change the speed, you have to do a traffic analysis with a speed study. And then you set the speed to 85 percentile of what people are driving.
Jeez.
The assumption is that people are driving safely. So if it is legitimately 50 miles an hour on average, and the 85th percentile is 42, you cannot lower it below 40. So it is a time process that costs some money. I'm not worried about that. I think that what you're gonna find is that because most people are driving too fast in that area, is that based on that study, it's gonna be detrimental to what we're attempting to do.
Yeah, how long is the study?
You have to hire a traffic engineer, I don't know, 90 days.
90 days.
Yeah.
So we gotta drive 5 miles an hour for 90 days on the road?
Gotta get everybody to drive 5 miles an hour.
Well, if we were gonna go traffic study, my desire would also be to understand how many cars actually come down North Elm, how many cars come down Crescent, and how many come down West, because we've used West and Crescent as a comparison. But if the volume's not similar, it might not be accurate. No, I hit that stop, that's been fantastic. For the record, I still don't trust it, you know, you're still gonna wait for the next 10 years for that car to stop, even though they have a flashing stop sign to go. But I'd be curious, like, to use the comparison of West and Crescent, I would love it to be similar numbers of cars going down West that's going down North Elm, because then that would make sense. Like, that flows as much as everybody stops, it works and it flows. My concern is I think the North Elm traffic is probably 3 times greater than what we're seeing on West, but I could be wrong.
The issue is that we're trying to attempt to fix multiple problems. One is speed.
Mhm.
The stop sign will reduce speed, but then you're not gonna get out of your house. And so we have multiple issues, and the number one complaint that we receive, and it's not just in West Bridgewater, but the number one complaint that we are seeing across the state is speed. That's why, as you know, the state legislators looking at the possibility, which I think is gonna pass, about being able to do speed enforcement through camera. We see that in Rhode Island, and other states do it as well. We only have 3 police officers on at any one time. We can't be out there at all time, and we all just know it's a speed issue. So my recommendation, obviously take whatever vote you would like to, but one option is that we've already complied with the state requirements for posting to hold the hearing. I think you received some good feedback, so you can vote this evening however you would like to. You could also table it and continue to weigh your options or interact with residents or whatever, and then we can always come back at a later time and vote at that point as well. Just letting you know that's an option, that you don't have to make that decision tonight. But unfortunately, I do think that no matter what we do, and we've heard it tonight, is that a possible solution will have a negative impact somewhere else, because there is no good answer.
Yeah, I think there's still a couple more residents that wanna say something.
Yeah, I mean, even when we drive down North Elm across and go to, the intersection to go over 106, we still have to wait because 3 cars will go through the stop on either side. And we'll have people behind us tooting their horns, laying right on, it's like, hey, zoom, zoom, thank you, I just saved your life. That's what we say, we say it to ourselves. Each and every day we travel over 106. So speed's definitely an issue in town.
Concern?
Yeah, I don't think anything will work if it's not enforced. And maybe camera enforcement is a good idea. I understand we have limited police, presence on the intersection. But I honestly think you can put up anything you want, and jerks will drive like jerks. And it scares me a little bit. I walk my dog 3 times a day, and I live near the intersection. And sometimes we use the crosswalk to get across North Elm, and it's a little scary, because there's a curve in the road north of there, and you know, it's a dangerous street. But I do think that nothing will work without enforcement.
More to David. David, could we use the traffic study from the school
Um,
for any type of analysis that they had?
Depending, so what they do is they determined as to whether that intersection was pass or fail, which was a fail.
Right.
But they did not determine volume and speed. So
Okay.
it gives us some insight, but you wouldn't be able to use it specifically for that.
And does the police safety officer have data on accidents and timeframes?
Yeah, we have that data. I spoke to the police chief in preparation for this. Surprisingly, good or bad, it is not one of our intersections that by volume is high in reference to accidents. And that's in comparison to others. However, what he stressed to me is that the accidents that do happen there are more severe, because you have a higher rate of speed.
Severity's gotten worse over the years.
Exactly,
Yeah.
so that is a little bit less volume in some other areas, like Weston Crescent was by far our number 1. Lincoln and Crescent were at number 2. This was like 4 or 5, but the severity is worse there.
I know in Randolph, we got, it was some state grant for bike lanes. Is there a way of painting a bike lane on that street to kind of make like it's choking the road down for a bike lane to try to slow people down?
Well, what's interesting is you can see we did that here. That fog line is further in than it should be. The DPW department did that within the past year.
Okay.
And because the optical illusion normally slows people down. So we've done everything that we can with the tools at our resources. And again, just so that everybody knows that are watching, while cameras may be helpful in the future, they cannot be used today for enforcement. That is why we're waiting on the state to see whether or not they do pass it for enforcement.
Yeah, Alan, I think a
It's not an
couple of
option.
residents you got here a little bit late, but some of the residents were talking, just to put you in the full loop of the conversation. Some of the residents were speaking, how oftentimes the people driving will go up on their lawns to get around the car.
It's tough not having an actual curb line.
No,
Yeah,
and,
because a curb line obviously would deter them from doing that.
and just to be clear, I love the participation that's happening right now. Usually when we have these public hearings, it's like 1 or 2 people. And I love the fact that everyone's here having a conversation about this, because that's telling me it's important, and to me it's great. You know what I mean? So thank you for coming. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to say?
If we do the stop signs on North Elm, I would suggest, because we did it in Randolph, because it's a new stop sign, you're gonna have to go a few hundred yards back and put a sign up,
Oh, yeah.
stop ahead, possible message boards out there.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And
the-
whatnot.
So the process is because whenever you change habits, so you would put reader boards on both sides.
Right.
You would do it for 2 to 3 weeks in advance of putting the stop signs in. Once you install the stop signs, you keep the reader boards out to say stop signs ahead. So yeah, you'll have education going on at that
We
point.
even painted on the street, stop ahead on the street as well.
So we would definitely go through that process.
I'm all
Discussion.
in favor of it.
Discussion.
I
discussion
would
with
like
the
data
board.
before I make, I know that we have police data and we understand that the accidents are severe, for that reason along, we should move this along as quickly as we can, but I still wanna know how many cars drive down that road between, meaning North Elm, between 3 and 6. Right, I wanna try to understand what the impact is to all of you. Is the backup gonna be 10 cars, 20 cars, 30 cars? And I'd like to, there's some traffic engineer out there that can provide us that type of information before we put stop signs in and kind of have to take them back out or come up with a different plan, or while the camera might be the ideal plan, that's probably a ways away. I feel, I get it. I lived on Tiffany, I drove there all the time, now I'm off of Crescent. I would argue that Crescent is just as dangerous once the cars get moving as what North Elm is. We need to slow people down, and I won't say speed hump again for the sake of saying speed hump to these two. But there are some ways we can slow some people down, but I think most importantly, there's gotta be, there are people smarter than us when it comes to traffic that should be able to tell us that if we put a stop sign there, between the hours of 3 and 4, there's gonna be on average this many cars backed up. Between the hours of 4 and 6, there's gonna be this many cars backed up. I think that gives us the opportunity to make an educated decision here.
I hear you, but at the same time, with the longer we prolong it, and I hear the residents, I'm still very in favor of a stop sign, mainly because of the potential risk of loss of life on that. The accidents are pretty severe on that road. Those are my concerns.
I'd be in favor of voting tonight, so I'm fine to vote. I'm fine to wait. I think that despite the concerns, and I respect the concerns and I understand them about getting out of your driveways and stuff and all of that, but I understand that you also have trouble getting out of your driveway on Crescent. So I think that there has to be a compromise. If I were voting tonight, I'd be in favor of the 4-way stop, despite the fact that it's gonna make my commute a little bit longer to work, I think. Or maybe makes it quicker. I really honestly don't know. But just from everything that I've heard, I'd be in favor of a 4-way stop, but I'm also in favor of not having to vote tonight. So whatever works for the two of you, I guess.
Sir, did you want to say another
I'm
point?
just curious, within the past couple of months, those black ropes, looks like that they go across the road, they were put on Crescent Street down by, Copper Beach. You know what I'm talking about? There's a box with them and there are two ropes that go.
Traffic study box.
It's a counter. Now, does it tell you speed, or does that just tell you number of times the tire rolled over it? And, if it's within 1 second, then it must be a car, and if it's 3 seconds, it's a truck or something. Can you put those out on Crescent and North Elm? I don't know who does that, but somebody just did it, on Crescent Street. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm not sure as to why, David. Do you have any?
I don't have a direct answer. We very rarely ever do that ourselves. We do it if we do a traffic analysis study, which we have obviously not conducted because we had $25,000 to do it, right? And I know we don't have an ongoing study. So my guess is that OCPC probably did it as part of their regional counter system. So when Jeff had mentioned about the data, that was the first thing I was gonna touch base with, is to see what OCPC has collected through the years. There may be something fairly recent. Based on what the gentleman is saying, we might have fairly recent data on Crescent Street, which might be helpful. And depending on what they put out there, will definitely tell us volume, and it may potentially tell us speed. I would think more likely it would, but again, I'd have to check with them, because they were the owners of the speed study. I'm presuming it was OCPC.
I don't remember hearing being talked to, and I've been in the meetings.
I mean, they do dozens per year throughout the entire region, so if I were to venture a hypothetical safe guess, that's who did it. And, just to so I'm so sorry.
My question.
We're saying OCPC to them, and I'm thinking, OCPC is Old Colony Regional Planning Council, which handles basically the upper Plymouth County area, but it's 27 communities or so that all do regional planning, and in order to do that, you have to collect data throughout that time period. And they're mostly funded through the federal government, so they get literally millions of dollars per year to conduct studies like this on an annual basis.
David, if we were to do these stop signs and it makes the problems worse, reverse engineered process to remove them, or once they're in, they're in?
Same process we did. You would take a vote that you would like to entertain the possibility of removing them. we would post in the newspaper as we did, we would make the appropriate, butters notifications, and then you would have a hearing.
Yeah. I think I'm prepared to make a motion on it. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to install the stop signs on North Elm Street and Crescent Street intersection, turning this intersection into a four-way stop.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm a yes.
I'm sorry, I'm a no, not that I'm against this to anybody in the room, but I believe I make decisions with data. I understand your concern for safety, but it's been this way for years. Heaven forbid something happened, but I didn't think another 3 months would be catastrophic to this cause, so. I'm not against doing something there, but I think this is sort of a willy-nilly versus hard data. I'm a numbers person, so.
We've installed other stop signs in town without the data, so.
It's fine.
Yep.
Just expressing my opinion, Mike.
All right, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Second. Make a motion?
All in favor?
Are we making it, favoring it? I don't know.
Oh, we did, we just voted, did we
Good.
not?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on. Scott Golder, Treasurer Collector Report.
Hello.
Welcome.
At the end of the fiscal year, we needed some money to pay for the fire engine that we just received a couple weeks ago, and the water department the fire engine was $800,000, and the water department is borrowing $1 million. This goes to the PFAS project, mostly for cash flow issues while they're awaiting some reimbursements. We got 2 bids. They were both very close to each other. The winning bank was Unibank for savings at an interest rate at 3.65%. This will be coming due in November, when I usually do the municipal purpose loan, and that'll be folded into there, so it'll just be one borrowing going forward. Any questions?
I have none.
Nope.
So we just gotta, could you make a motion to award the bid to
Yep.
Unibank?
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to award the bid to the town's annual municipal purpose loan to Unibank.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then we just gotta sign, so that's the bank note itself, the sticker.
This one.
Yeah. It's the town clerk certificate.
Same spot?
Yep. Two copies of the tax covenant saying that this is tax-free.
There's just one.
I got the other one here.
Get like pen. Okay.
Scott?
All right.
Thank you,
That's
Scott.
it.
And while we're talking about
Thank you.
fire engines, do we want to say anything about what happened recently? The incident, luckily, none of the firefighters were injured at that event. At this time, David, is there an update on that vehicle? Is it completely out, or?
The insurance adjuster has to come out and take a look at it. It looks like the body of the vehicle obviously has sustained a lot of damage. Fortunately, the engine compartment did not. We also had a lot of apparatus on it that suffered damage, including, unfortunately, the brand-new Jaws of Life that we had just purchased within the past year. So we're going through the insurance. We are hopeful that the insurance, we are hopeful that there will not be enough frame damage or upfront chassis damage that we'll be able to put a new box on the back. It's not just for money, it's also for the fact that, as we all know,
Time.
if we have to replace it, it's a 4-year turn. It's not about the money, we're hoping we're gonna be able to replace the box. As you said, fortunately, our firefighters, we had 2 on scene at that point. they followed their training, they parked the vehicle specifically the way it should be blocked in a blocking mechanism. It was, the lane was closed, why that person never slowed down, drove straight into the truck. Fortunately, they were safe, and there were still two troopers that were out there at that point as well, that were clearing the scene, and fortunately, they were safe as well.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank
Not to
Thank you.
interrupt.
Yeah, no,
Thank you, Scott.
Good night.
Have a good night.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is a vote to rescind the Class 2 license for X-Drive Motors located at 436 South Main Street. I'll make a motion to rescind the Class 2 license. Do we need to talk about that first? Yeah, make a motion to rescind the Class 2 license for X-Drive Motors located at 436 South Main Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next on the agenda is vote to approve the Class 2 license for Primetime Motors located at 436 South Main Street. You mentioned that.
And this gentleman is here.
Hi,
How are you?
Hi.
good, how are you? My name is Mahmoud. Fatima actually is my wife, but she was sick today, she couldn't make it.
Hope she feels better.
Thank you. Yeah, so we're applying for a Class 2 dealer license for at the same location, that's X-Drive. You know, hoping to get the approval.
All right. David, we have anything on this?
So how many days a week is this gonna be open?
6 days.
6 days,
Close
that's.
Sunday.
Okay, alright,
Yes, Monday, Saturday. We'll be open from 10 to 7.
okay,
Yeah.
alright.
So you have the days of operation here is 9 to 7 and 10 to 5 on
Oh.
Sunday.
So 7 days?
So my point is that if he is, I mean, if he is saying 6 hours, then that's what we'll approve, but that's inconsistent with the application, so I would just ask for the board for clarification, so we know how to what to put on the license.
So Sunday closed?
Sunday close, yes.
Okay, okay, so we can,
Well,
alright.
with the Sunday will be with appointments. Would that be okay, or can we apply?
Well, what's your application? What do you want the application to
Well,
say?
we can keep it for Sunday, and I guess the appointment would be on our website to tell people like whether we open or not.
And will you guys be doing any maintenance on the site?
No, no maintenance.
No maintenance, no
Yes.
service, no tire changes?
No, nothing at all. We'll just be sales and finance at the location, and we will be using Express Loop on Main Street
Mhm.
for service.
Okay, because that'd be my concern if open on Sunday is, the noise from a mechanic shop or
No,
something
there
like
is
that.
no, there is no. It's just this is like a building office. There is no way of doing any maintenance or service whatsoever.
But if you want to leave this on here for Sunday, just so we're clear, your appointments would need to be between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
have any issues.
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the Class 2 license for Primetime Motors located at 436 South Main Street, barring any final inspections.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hope your wife feels better.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you're free to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Drive safe.
Vote to ratify Robert Casper's employment contract as
Nope,
healthy.
you skipped.
Oh, I skipped.
Go
Oh,
back to
just
B.
kidding.
She's been waiting so patiently here.
Vote to ratify Wendy Adams' employment as
Welcome back.
employment contract as Council of Aging Director.
So as the board knows, after 10 years of being the director, our director retired. We certainly wish her well. Following the hiring process, you approved a job description with the salary range. We then posted for the position. We had more than a handful of applications, including some very qualified applicants. After going through the search, the screening committee recommended, and I reviewed, and I'm recommending to the board now, the hire of Wendy Adams as our new COA director. Her effective date would be on July 6th. She worked for us for 8 years, and she is currently also, she worked for us at the COA for over 8 years. She has a degree specifically in this field, and she has also been the assistant in Mansfield, where she currently is now for the past 4 years. She is more than qualified for the job.
Wonderful.
Hi Wendy, how are
Hi,
you?
I'm
We
good, thank
spoke
you.
briefly, but I was in the middle of signing a bunch of papers early. Is there anything you'd like to say?
I'd just like to say, thank you very much. I'm very excited to come back to West Bridgewater and serve the population in town.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna be happy to have you then.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. As you know, everyone loves the Council of Aging.
Yeah.
We often frequent, we're down there pretty often, so you'll see our faces.
Keep coming.
As you know, you're gonna have some really large shoes to fill, having already worked with Marilyn before, so it's sad to see her go, but you've worked with her, so you know the services and stuff that she provided, and we really do value the Council on Aging and the services that we provide to our seniors in town, so as long as you are ready to take the reins and lead it, that sounds great.
I am ready.
It's all yours.
Thank you.
At this time, I'll make a motion to ratify Wendy Adams' employment as the Council of Aging Director effective July 6, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, welcome back.
Thanks.
Get to work.
Okay.
Maybe not tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
At this time,
No, you're good, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, have a good night, guys.
the next on the agenda is to vote to ratify Robert Casper's employment as contract as health agent. Any changes to that? I'll make a motion to ratify Robert Casper's employment contract as health agent.
Second.
There we go.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next on the agenda is vote to ratify Daniela Nielsen's employment contract as principal assessor.
Second.
Make a motion to ratify Daniela Nelson's employment contract as principal assessor. You already
Second.
seconded it? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Vote to ratify, make a motion to ratify Carrie Buckley's employment contract as office manager for water department. Need a
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, here we go. Vote to approve a one-day liquor license application for Black Hat Brew Works for Riverwalk on June 7, 2026.
If I can interject for 1 minute, there's a possibility of rain on Sunday.
Oh, no.
And they've posted that they'll make a decision on Friday as to what to do, but maybe we add to this or the rain date, which according to the sign, beautiful sign out front, says the 14th, so.
Nice.
But maybe we should just indicate or rain date in case it's been raining on the weekends, unfortunately.
Yep.
So, just add that rain date to it.
Yep, I think that's great.
Fantastic.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the one-day liquor license application for Black Hat Brew Works for Riverwalk on June 7, 2026, or June 14, 2026. Thank you, Jeff.
Or whatever date they choose. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is there a rain date for the September 13th, or that's too far down the line?
Hopefully it stops by then.
Next on the agenda is vote to approve a one-day entertainment license for the Lions Club Fall Harvest Fest, September 13, 2026.
And we'll be waiving the fees for that, right? Second.
We'll discuss it. We're gonna
Oh.
waive the fees. All right. So at this time, we'll make a motion to approve the one-day entertainment license for the Lions Club Fall Harvest Fest, September 13, 2026, as well as waiving the fees.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
J, special permit, site plan review, planning board, 745 North Main Street, used car dealership.
So as you know, the process here is that whenever there's a special permit or a site plan review, it provides an opportunity for the Board of Selectmen and other boards and committees to weigh in. This had been a used car dealership in the past. It's similar hours, it's Monday through Friday and a couple of hours on Saturday. There would be no repair on site. Again, it'll go before the planning board, but it's zoned appropriately.
I don't have anything.
Yeah, you're not looking for a vote, you're just looking for,
I don't have any
And
comments.
any
either.
comments that you may have, if
Nope.
none, then we'll capture that and pass it along.
do they have the hours?
They do, hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, and Saturday, 8 to 2.
That's not bad.
I'm not sure where in the packet it is, but,
I don't have any comments, you?
No, sir.
oh, yes, I'm
No,
so sorry, number
fifth
2. Yep, you're right, number 2 up top, 8 to 6, and then 8 to 2.
I don't have any comments.
Nope.
Marcy, Jeff?
No, I mean, it's small parking, you know.
Yeah.
You just gotta adhere to the lots, but that, the planning board will take care of that, or maybe they'll take care of that.
Yep.
All right.
Moving along.
All right, next on the agenda, special permit site plan ZBA 347 East Street, auto recovery.
So as we know, this used to be a residential home. It was, it is in the business zone. It was torn down. There was a tree service that went in there for a very short period of time. That has vacated the lot. The lot is empty. And auto recovery area is looking now for a special permit site plan review that would go through the zoning board of appeals. One item of note is that they are looking to be open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. My only heartburn on that, I don't like it. Again, it's, whatever your comments are and whatever the ZBA wants to do. In this case, there is no repair. They're not selling cars, they're just storing vehicles. They're looking to be able to store 35. In my personal opinion, I think that's way too many. I don't want it to become an eyesore on our main road. And the second item to that is that I don't like the fact that if somebody gets towed on a Friday night, they have to wait till Monday to pick up the car. I just don't think that's fair, because all they're gonna do is pick up more rent in the meantime, and again, I don't think that's fair to the person that was towed. So, again, that's my personal opinion. Other than that, whether I like it or not, it's zoned for it. It's unfortunate.
I don't know enough about vehicles that were recovered, but I just feel as though there's a lot of energy with people wanting to get their vehicles back. And my concern is where that is. It's very close to residential homes, and my concern that there could potentially be some negative energy there, if you will, for people wanting to get their...
It's repo, right?
Yeah,
So it's
repo.
gonna be negative energy, and the other thing
Yeah.
is, their hours are here, that doesn't mean when somebody's gonna show up to try to get their car back.
And exactly.
Or when
and
they're gonna
35.
recover a car and bring it in.
But the current space is there, under the current use, what is it, I think it says 17, total parking spaces available on property, but they wanna put in 35 cars?
I think
Or
you
have,
go
am I,
into like the 60s on that.
It's a big lot.
yeah,
It's a big lot.
I know, but 35 cars seems like a lot of cars on that spot, on that
It's
space.
gonna look like a
That's
junkyard.
not that that's not a large, I don't think it's a large enough space for that many vehicles to be there.
Guys packed them in tight.
Yeah, they pack them in tight.
Yeah,
It's gonna
and-
look like a junkyard.
I think
Exactly.
this is gonna run a hell of a lot more hours than what it's supposed to. To your
Yeah.
point, I think it's gonna be detrimental to the neighbors.
Yeah, I don't
And
think it's the right
gonna have a
place.
very negative impact on the two houses that are right there. My recommendation would be flat out no for this.
I don't disagree at all. I completely agree, honestly. I think that it would be an eyesore. I don't think that it's gonna bring the best energy, as Mike's saying, to the area. I don't think the space is large enough for the capacity that they're planning for. I'm a no. I don't like it.
Yeah, you guys are just looking for feedback, right?
We
Yeah.
are, but,
I just don't see how they're gonna bring a car in. If they hook a car at 2 AM, are they gonna wait till the hours of, what were the hours again?
Monday through Friday, 8 to
Yeah,
5.
8 to 5. They hook a car at 2 AM, and I mean, I have friends that are repo guys, and they repo cars at 2 in the morning, and they bring them back to their lot at that time, and now we have a tow truck with a backup alarm backing their vehicle in to drop a vehicle with residents that are literally right there, because right behind that tree line is a house.
Yep.
I have a lot of concerns with it. I think that their hours are gonna be 24/7. Maybe not necessarily for the customers to come get their vehicles, but for vehicles to get brought into the lot, their hours are gonna be 24/7. Especially there on that corner. I mean, that's 106 and East Street. That's a busy part of
Has
town.
that always been zoned that?
What
Has that
business?
always been zone business? Was there a house on that?
There
It
was.
used to
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
So was it residential at one point?
I do not know the answer to that. All I know, as long as I know, the first 500 feet on 106 has been zoned business, so it's mixed-use business and residential.
I know I saw 70,000 pounds of rock getting dumped there.
Isn't there
Yeah.
just one either on
Nope.
zoning? No.
Yeah, so, the first 500 feet in either direction is zoned residential, is zoned business, so it makes sense, 106 is a main road, but, I think there's some negative stuff too. So, with that said, the litmus test, site plan review is just a review. There's very little that a regulatory board can do. Special permit does require, basically, the very definition of a special permit is to provide permission. So, if you want to take a vote that you are against this project, the zoning board of appeals by law can determine, if they so choose, that it is detrimental to the neighborhood. And if they determine it's detrimental to the neighborhood, they have a legal right to state no and reject the application. It would only be on those grounds, or really chiefly on those grounds. So with that said, if I'm hearing the will of the board, I think what I would do is that I would say that you are against the project because you believe that it would be detrimental to the neighborhood.
Yeah, you wanna make a motion?
Sure.
Make a motion that, to deny this project, the site plan, the special permit site plan review for ZBA 347 East Street Auto Recovery, due to it being detrimental to the residents.
Yep. Second.
In favor?
Yeah.
Yes.
Aye. And Jeff, sorry, you're right, I was looking at the wrong one, it said 17, I'm like, oh, there's so many, they all look alike. Yeah.
They're all in a row.
And then
Exactly.
if you would please pass along our kind words.
Sure.
Thank you. All right, void to appoint Paula Schlosser to the OCES Board of Directors.
It's just a reappointment.
Yeah.
Make a motion to appoint Paula Schlosser to the OCES Board of Directors.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion, do we have to talk about FY 26 appointments to boards, committees approved by the Board of Selectmen?
So we do this on an annual basis. You know there's a whole list there. There's probably 25 or 30 names. A couple of items I just want to call out. There are two people that will not be reappointed based on their request. One is for the ADA coordinator. Chris Trudell has chosen or requested not to be reappointed, so that would leave that position vacant. The town clerk, Annie Iantelli, is historically served also on the Memorial Veterans Day Committee. She will not be looking to serve on that committee as well. My request is that you table any appointment on the Municipal Building Needs Committee. There are two people that are looking to be or would be chosen to be reappointed. My thought process is at a most recent meeting, the board discussed changing the mission statement of that committee and also potentially the makeup of how it works. It'd still be 5 members. It would be still in the spirit of what town meeting approved in 1983. But we need to obviously put it in writing, and we're working on that now. We're gonna bring it to you at a future meeting. And I just don't think it's fair to appoint someone, and then after they're on it, then you say, oh, by the way, now here's your new mission statement. They should know when they accept appointment. So I would ask that as part of the process, we table that. Rent control, there would be 2 people that would be being reappointed to that. One is Michelle Kennehan, but the other one is Marcy Lee. I just don't think it's fair. This is the second time in a row now in cycles. Previously, it was Anthony Kennehan as a selectman. We continue to have selectmen fill these roles because the rent control is really a vital board. They are to protect the interests of the people living up in the rent control area. But it's not fair that selectmen continue to sit on it. We need people to sit on that committee. It's a vital committee. It's extremely important. It's a 5-member board. By reappointing these 2, that would be 4 active members. There's already 1 vacancy. And I can tell you that one person that has been on there for a number of years, quite frankly, over a dozen, he's looking to step down. So we really desperately, I'm saying it on camera, that if you have any interest in serving and helping out, it's a really good committee. It would be really nice. And then the last is that in speaking to Jason Ross would be looking not to be reappointed on the Cable Advisory Committee. So he is on this list. We didn't get that feedback until after the list was put together.
And you're looking for a motion barring those changes you just made?
Yeah, so
I have no way of recalling all those and
No worries.
reiterating it.
does anybody have any objection to anything that I just stated?
No.
All right, so if that's the case, I would ask that you,
As presented.
well, that you vote to approve the actually it should be FY 27 appointments as presented, excluding Jason Ross on the Cable Committee, and tabling any appointment to the Municipal Building Needs Committee.
Annie and Chris weren't on there.
They were not on there. So those are the only 2 adjustments, is a reference to cable and municipal building needs.
Make a motion to appoint the FY 2027 appointments on the boards with the exception of Jason Ross on the Cable Committee and
In tabling a decision.
tabling the Municipal Building Needs Committee vote at this time.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We got through that one somehow. Discussion possible vote of transfer station sticker.
Can't get out of being on the conservation.
You were never getting out of that.
No,
No, you're stuck.
You're on there for life, sir.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's the only lifetime appointment we have, and it's you.
Welcome. Would you like to speak on it?
Don't worry, residents
late,
can
sorry.
comment later.
Sorry, it's not public comment period.
Exactly.
We're on to end discussion of possible vote on transfer station sticker costs.
Yep, so I just placed this on the agenda really more as an FYI and also for some food for thought. A handful of years ago in 2023, the board voted to stagger the stickers going forward, as you see here, 125, 135, and 145. That ends at the end of this year. In October, we need to be able to post for it, and quite frankly, October, November, especially snowbirds, they start to buy the stickers before they head south. So we need to make a decision by September. And so right now, I'm not looking for a vote. I just want to provide some information so that we can see it and think about it, and then we could bring it back in the fall for a vote at that point. The purpose or the original intent or the intent of having the sticker is to cover the cost of the service. The transfer station sticker for this year, the budget for this year for the transfer station is about $458,000. I have looked, the historical record for the amount of stickers sold has been pretty stagnant, so that's 1,655 or so per year. We have raised $240,000 through that, but that means we're running actually a structural deficit if you're looking, so the difference is subsidized by the tax rate. Therefore, if you want to be able to cover the entire cost of it, which would be the intent, it would be $277 a sticker. I would never be asking you to actually raise it that much all in a short period of time. I'm just letting you know what the math is, but I do think that we should do our best to try to incrementally get as close to that over time as possible.
Yeah.
I personally think that news doesn't get better with time. And I do think that we need to continue on the same trajectory with the increase. Personally, I think that we should continue on the same trajectory with the increase. I don't think that we should just jump straight to the 277 because that wouldn't make sense for everyone. However, a $10 increase, seeing as though what we're paying now is $240, it's a little over half of what the stickers are paying for what it actually costs to run the transfer station. So I'd love some discussion on this.
Yeah, I don't personally, I agree we have to raise it because unfortunately the costs of everything are increasing. We have to raise it just to stay even, right? Unfortunately today. I'm not concerned about catching up to the 277. I said it to somebody earlier. There are a lot of people in this town that, we pay our taxes and 60 cents, 50 cents, discussion for another day, go to the school and we don't use the school, right? There's a group of us now that don't use it. Now we did. I'm grateful for the school. It's not a derogatory statement towards the school. But this is probably the only service outside of public safety and an emergency or something like that that gets regularly used by some townspeople. So I don't feel the need to be whole with it at the 277 ever. But we did just make a significant investment there, not that the town didn't pay for that and the taxpayer didn't pay for that. But I think it's fair to look at the price and the contracts, and we've signed new contracts since we've set these rates and make an adjustment if it's 10, 15, 20. I don't know, we're not trying to set them today, right? This is discussion more than anything. But try to understand what the impact will be, and go from there. I'm just not that concerned about the 277 where it's a function of the town and it's what, some people use that really get no other return from the town, God willing, not police, not fire, not ambulance, right?
Yeah.
So.
I got a question. On the stickers being sold, can anybody buy it? Can commercial
No.
No, you have to be a resident.
resident, but somebody who has a business in town,
Cannot.
they cannot buy it and put it on their commercial vehicle, right? Okay.
So I was at that October 4th, 2023 meeting, when that was discussed, and as a resident, I was not a selectman obviously, but as a resident, who doesn't use the dump, I will be, or the transportation station, whatever we're gonna call it.
The fancy word.
I am gonna be completely bashed later for calling it the dump, but whatever. I am in favor, I will say, I'm in favor of incrementally raising the price because I think that's a wise thing to do. However, I am also with you, Jeff, that I don't necessarily believe that the transfer station has to pay for itself. So I hope that we never have to get to the 277. But I do think that it is fair to raise it incrementally. Everything goes up every year. So there's no reason that we should take a hit to the town, residents who use it or don't use it, that just continues to get larger without any increase in the sticker price. But again, I don't think it should be something drastic, but I do definitely think and agree that it should be incremental and it should be regular. And there were a number of years, David, I don't know how many, but I'm sure you do, where the sticker price wasn't raised. And that's not fair because then we're getting hit, right? So, and you know, as somebody who pays for trash pickup, I pay significantly more than $145 a year for my trash pickup. And I'm okay with that and I choose that and that's fine. But it does cost money to get rid of your trash, so I think that everybody should pay, you know, maybe just a little bit more every year, like we all do for everything. That's it.
Right on. Do we want to table this and make another
I got a
vote?
quick question.
Yes, sir.
David, that 458, does that include the hazardous waste day?
It does not.
That paid for itself.
That was a separate, more, article.
Yeah,
at town
no, I
meeting.
didn't know if it got added into.
Based on the attendance of that event. We're out this year for doing it, but my recommendation when time comes would be to put those funds back on the future warrant.
And that was 15,000, right, I think?
Yes.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
But we,
Honestly, I think at 277, it's still a steal.
It is.
yeah.
For what you can get rid of there.
Yep.
Look, I've done this analysis. To Marcy's point earlier, I brought this to the board well over a decade ago. The sticker was $65 for decades. It then went from 65 to 85 for about 15 years with no adjustment. I think that was unfair because had we made just small adjustments at that point, we wouldn't be where we are today. I understand what the board's thoughts were at that time, obviously. But with that said, as Al said, I have done this research. Easton just went to 450. I'm sorry, Plainville just went to 450. Easton is over 500. Most of the municipalities are well in excess of this. And unfortunately, because of stricter regulations from DEP, it is becoming more costly to dispose of it on the other end. It's not like we're making any money on it. We just, $458,000 only covers the labor of one person, and almost all of it is because that's what it costs at the refuse center when you dispose of it. So, again, we don't need a vote tonight. If you want to vote on it tonight, you're more than welcome to. I'm just letting you know, I'm giving you the information, so in a couple of months, you'll have seen it, and you'll have the information to make a decision at that point, unless you want to make a vote tonight.
I work for Waste Management, and I know the town that I pick up in Whitman is way over $300, so
Yeah.
it's a steal.
So 277 actually doesn't sound so bad right now.
No, it isn't bad,
Yeah.
it isn't bad at all. People
Yeah.
will complain, but I understand, so.
Mhm.
Quick question. We got the leaf and grass drop off there. Has any consideration been given to possibly selling like a contractor pass for the landscapers that are in town, that they could dump their
We would be
grass-
overwhelmed.
grass and leaves there?
We would be overwhelmed with the amount of leaves and trash, and they drop stumps, because I see it at Bridgewater Farm. The amount of things that would get dropped in there, bottles, everything that they find would get thrown there, and I think it would, I love where your energy is, because that's bringing some revenue in.
Right.
However, I just think that we would be overwhelmed with the amount of junk that gets thrown there and the amount of grass, because they do a lot.
I know they drop a lot of stuff in, recycled down in, Cranberry Bogs and everything like that, they recycle, and there's a
Down in
ton
Dartmouth.
of waste.
One-
Ton of waste.
One company would do a lot.
I know Whitman has a contractor pass that they sell, because I know a couple guys from DPW over there.
I mean,
They say it's not.
potentially if things get ugly in the future and we need to find a way to make some money there, but like, I think it's just gonna be overwhelming, the amount of grass.
Mike?
But I'm just thinking resident contractors, only the people that still live in town,
Yeah.
you know,
So-
Wells, Roback, guys like that.
So Mike, I think you're right on. I will tell you from firsthand experience, I think it was a 2015 to 2016 winter season when we had all those 3-foot snowstorms, we had a lot of windstorms that year. The board at that point voted at no additional charge to allow residents, not commercial,
Right.
just residents,
Right.
to drop off all of their yard waste. One, it's impossible to police because think of the logistics. When you drive in, it's immediately to the left, and the building is another couple hundred feet up. So we don't have staff, so people just drop off. What we found was wooden pallets, doors, and the absolute worst thing was how many people dropped off Christmas trees with Christmas lights still on it. And when we would bring in the tub grinder, it would jam up the tub grinders. And those about, I think they're $400 an hour, $600, I mean, it's an exorbitant amount of money. And
Tires too.
yeah, I don't recall tires, but the Christmas lights and the string of lights that people would drop off, it was just unfair. And it really put us in a bad spot. So, Mike, I think you're entirely right. It would be very difficult for us to be able to police that.
Yeah. All right, so we'll pass that along and we'll table it for now.
Yep.
Some discussion. Vote, next on the agenda is vote to award the Sursig Water and Sewer Chemical Supply Contract July 1st, 2026, through June 30th, 2027.
Yeah, so in all of these three, as you know, we are part of a consortium of 27 other towns. We go out to bid. If you don't mind, we can always group them. O is water and sewer, P is DPW, Q is paper. We go out to bid, we take the cheapest price. It saves us a lot of time and energy, and that's how we try to drive our costs down. So we can either award it separately or award all of them together as presented, your choice.
And we're doing you as the signatory, or we don't need to do that right now?
Nope, the chair is the signatory.
Okay.
You just
I just
award
signed
the
it.
contracts, as the contracts come in, you sign it.
Got it. We're gonna group these together. Everybody good with grouping them
Yes.
together? Make a motion to award the Sursig Water and Sewer Chemical Supply Contracts, the DPW supply contract, as well as the paper supply contracts from July 1st, 2026 through June 30, 2027.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You guys are quiet today.
I'm just.
You guys have a good night.
Take care, Lee.
Take
We're
care,
gonna
sir.
drive safe.
You had enough?
Yeah, I've had enough. I'm stuck here, so I can't do anything about it. Another 3 years.
Excuse me.
Oh, goodness.
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from April 22nd, 2026.
Second.
All in favor? Make a motion to accept the meeting minutes of May 6th, 2026 for review.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Communications and reports from boards, commissions, and town officials.
So in this case here, we have a request from Michael Crawford to be placed on the Cable Advisory Committee. I didn't put it in the original packet of appointments because I wanted you to see that it was different. The other ones were all reappointments. What is nice is that because Jason Ross is no longer gonna be appointed, this can fill into that spot, so at least that seat itself would be filled.
No, it
Great.
looks good. Looks like you had a lot of qualifications, so.
Mm-hmm.
Make a motion to appoint Michael Crawford to the Cable Advisory Committee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next up is appoint Mackenzie Craig to the Memorial Day Veterans Day Legacy Committee.
Yep, and this would be our student rep to the committee.
Yep. So make a motion to appoint Mackenzie Craig to the Memorial Day Veterans Day Legacy Committee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Correspondence from the public to determine a course of action. Can we read this letter now? It's not a course of action, but it's a thank you letter, so I guess that's not now.
Your choice,
Yeah, we're gonna.
your choice.
We just got a letter from from David Farrell, the veterans agent, thanking us for the Memorial Day, being at the Memorial Day event and speaking. I had to be the MC, but I'm also on that committee, so it's all good. All right. Public comment period? Al? Perfect.
But note that in the calendar.
Right?
Town administrator report.
Think I've said enough tonight?
I think so too.
So thank you. So, you know, this is our Fourth Amendment. You're already familiar with this. I will tell you, I'm a little bit frustrated with it. This was negotiated between the attorneys while I was away 2 weeks ago. They settled on June 15th. I have no doubt that we're not gonna make that date and you'll be looking at a Fifth Amendment, but it already been settled. The other side had already signed it. But at the end of the day, as you know, this is just to extend, to eventually do the swap agreement. So I'll just ask you to vote and sign it, and unfortunately probably see you in the future with a fifth one.
Are you looking for a vote? Swap agreement for the Fourth Amendment Lincoln Street project
Please.
as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Every year we have non-union, non-contractual compensation. It gets approved by this board as part of the budget process and then approved at town meeting as part of the budgets. So again, I just sign it. I just let you know on an annual basis so that way you know. OCPC, again, referred to them earlier as our Old Colony Planning Council, our regional planning agency. They requested signatories from all of us at our respective municipalities to apply for a federal grant to potentially look at a Safe Streets and Roads program. So I signed it. We'll see as to whether or not the grant gets secured. FYI, we discussed this earlier, Riverwalk is this Sunday, Sunday, June 7th. Again, if it rains, at least at this point, the rain date is the following Sunday. I placed the next item on the agenda and looking for your feedback. We have had requests over the past few years to start the banner project that you'll see in other neighboring towns for veterans that would like to be able to place a banner up. And so we currently have 14 applications, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And I have no doubt that once we put those banners up, is that it'll grow and we'll have more. So with that said, I thought it was important for the board to make the final decision as opposed to us as administrators as to where we put them. My recommendation is that we start in the center of town and we work out equally in all directions. But I want to make sure, so for example, there's 14, it might be 2 or 3 in each direction, and as it grows, it just continues to expand. And so I just want to make sure that the board is good with that, and if you have a different recommendation, we'll obviously implement what the board's choices are.
I love those banners. As a veteran, I love those banners. I love seeing them. And also David Moore, who we had here as interim, he's kind of responsible for getting them up in Bridgewater. And one of the nonprofits that I am close with, Fire for Effect in Bridgewater, is doing a huge thing to get more push on getting those banners up. So personally, I love those banners. I agree. Start in the center of town and send them out equally. I think that's a big, huge attempt to. It's kind of like town beautification, in my opinion. Just they look nice, they look presentable. That's my take on it.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah. Make it all.
And that's what we'll do. Every year, I just always put on the first meeting after town meeting, just as any discussion point. Personally, I want to say thank you to this board and to the finance committee, because again, most people just do not know the amount of level of effort that you went through in reviewing all the boards, all the budgets, the same as with finance committee. I also want to say that I think that our department heads and our boards and committees and the review process between the selectmen and the finance committee, I think it's not only is it good, I think residents realize how good of a job you all do. Not a single budget was held. Now that's surprising and rare, and it might also be because there was one resident that wasn't there that normally is.
Two residents that were there apparently.
But I also think, in all honesty, is that our department heads did a really good job of coming in with extremely reasonable budget requests. And so, again, I think that that's a feather in their cap, in your cap, in the finance committee's cap, but I put on if there was any other discussion that the board would like to
I
have.
would just throw some of that praise back in your direction as you tend to meet with them ahead of time before they come in. They're pretty thin on the budget to begin with, which I know is in my my social media these days has taken to overrides and I see, you know, from Lakeville, just all around us, everybody's going for overrides and nobody's getting them, or almost nobody's getting them, and we're fortunate not to be in that position yet. And I hope we can stay out of that position, but that's, you know, sure, I'll take a little credit, finance can take a little credit, but, you know, keeping the town budget tight, not overestimating state funds like many communities have done, and being conservative with your approach has kept us well, so thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah, thank you, because I think the departments understand through your communications and your dealings with them that, you know, what is to be expected, and they come in that way, and they understand, and they make sacrifices, and, yeah, and I think that in a large part, obviously, that is due to your leadership, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Quick question, did the
No.
water department, highway department combination pass?
It
No.
failed.
Okay.
while we were on that everybody that was part of that was great, on the staff. You guys did a phenomenal job, so thank you.
Thank you.
Phenomenal job.
Yep, no, I
I wish we had more residents there, because I don't think there was almost more people in this meeting today than there was at that town meeting.
Linda and Christine do an excellent job of making sure everything is set up, and I always am impressed with Christine, because when I do the budget presentation, she can't see what page I'm on, and she always does a pretty good job of staying with it, so thank you.
Thank you.
And I keep the timer.
Yes, you do. Employee Appreciation Day, again, it's already been voted on, but just FYI, September will be here before we know it, so just so that way you know. Next meeting at this point, according to our normal schedule, is June 17th. However, we had discussed about not holding that meeting, we just never took a formal vote. So we placed it on so we could take one. But because, as we all know, that the merger did not pass at town meeting, there has been a discussion about doing it kind of through an ad hoc process between the selectmen and the water commissioners. I've been in touch with each one of you individually, and I've also spoken to the chair of the water commissioners, and he has stated that the water commissioners can meet next Wednesday on June 10th. So if the board is acceptable to that, then what I would ask is for the board to take a vote that we will have a meeting next week, and that we will officially cancel the June 17th meeting.
I make a motion to move the June 17th meeting to June 10th, 2026, and have a joint meeting with the water department. I need a second.
Second,
All in favor?
Hi.
I'm gonna move my haircut, like.
I gotta move a lot of things, but I'll be there. It's important. Anything else? All right. At this time, I would entertain a motion to enter an executive session, not to return to open session to discuss strategy with respect to litigation, specifically a workers' comp claim filed by Linda McAuliffe against the town of West Bridgewater. Since, in my opinion as chair, strategizing in open session would have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the town. This requires a roll call vote.
Lee, yes?
Brian, yes.
Perez, yes?
Thank you all for coming. Thank you for your opinions and being here to express them. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Get home safe, thank you.